If you find yourself with a camera in your hand and want to learn how to use it, please subscribe to this channel, like the videos, comment below.
Hey Photos family, today we're talking about frames, and as other people call it framework. Frames, because both video and photography, it's kind of interesting how all the terms and, well, maybe not all the terms, a lot of the terms that we use and speak in our own picturesque way refer back to something within photography, and then I fail to implement it into my photography to help me level up. In frame, typically within the context and talking and discussion around photography, is talking about what the camera sees, what are the boundaries of that camera, and within the right, top, left, and bottom, how is it framed up? What does it see, and what does that scope show to the viewer? Of how much the camera sees, what's the story being told? To be quite honest, I mean, we're talking about the process. We're talking about the process of going from okay to better. It's a process to success. We need to take transaction from action. If we sit there and we spin our wheels and we're not doing anything, just the wheels are spinning, there's no traction. There's action, but without transaction, it's moving from one thing to the next. Or if you're thinking about that in a monetary context, a conversation of money, there's no exchange. There's no difference. There's no learning. There's no improving. There's no growing. You could say you had to take traction from action, which is true. If you're thinking about a vehicle and the wheels don't move, there's no action. You can't get traction from no action. You have to get traction from action. But if you have all action without traction, you're spinning your wheels. There's nothing going on. The basics of frames or framing something up and keeping everything clear. If I expanded your viewing area in this video right now, there would be so much else going on, you wouldn't be able to focus on me. Maybe that would provide more interest. More people might watch because of what else is in the screen, but they wouldn't be paying attention to what I'm saying. There would not be any traction on my information. While I don't have this information, I'm not giving this information out just for my sake. I'm doing this because I desire to serve you. That's one of the reasons why the framework is important, because the framework has to be able to give three things, and here they are. They have to give a pull, a draw, something which creates interest, a desire for the person seeing what is going on to look further at and look longer at that item. Talking about photography, that would be your photograph. Beyond drawing them to do something, we talked about that, about storytelling, it's a hook, right? That pull is very much that first hook. Get their attention. The next, you have to have the tail, or some would call it a story. There has to be something more to see of your photograph after the very first interest glance, okay? I see a photograph and oh, that's kind of interesting, but after 3 to 5 seconds, my glance looks away. There was no tail to see because I saw it all at a glance. There's got to be some, through storytelling, we call it a plot. There's got to be some plot. There's got to be some layers of interest, information, and generation of questions while answering the previous layer's questions. The last thing that has to be in a photograph, think of your frame as a funnel, okay? So it gets the very broad interest by creating the pull, okay? It starts to narrow down, and change of elevation in the funnel from one down to the next creates a squeeze to that very final point. And that very final point, the photograph could be intended to be sold, or it could just be capturing that photograph for your memories because that's all it was intended for. You created that shot to remember that time and to enjoy it, to think about that person and everything else involved with the history and the emotions, the love, the appreciation you brought into that moment when you captured the photograph. That's the whole purpose of a frame, is to be able to have a place to put the pull, the tail, and I guess you could say the purpose. I had other words for it, but I think that's a good one. The pull, the tail, and the purpose. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you watching this. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a comment down below if you've learned something. And if you're not yet a subscriber, we would love to have you subscribe to our channel and be part of our Photos family. Thank you so much. God bless.